Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, April 18th for CAD 212. Today in class, it's class 19, and we're moving into CD's phase, which is our construction documents phase. And this is where we're building upon the design development work that we've done by producing plans, drawings, and specifications needed to price and build the project. So we should be getting to a point where we've really kind of finished our design work. We're coming to a point where that's getting more refined and getting to an end point, because we're going to be moving into creating our actual construction documents. Always a little bit of editing can take place during this time. But remember, if you create a sheet and you print that to PDF, you'll need to create a new sheet. Some of the things that we're going to be doing in this section are talking about our final lists of sheets for the final project, because our final project is going to be due in 2 weeks on May 2nd. And then our final is going to be on Wednesday, May 4th. So we definitely want to use these next 2 weeks to get everything buttoned up. If you're still working on the design development part, I get that finished this week. And the following week, we can use that as strictly just doing your construction documents and your sheets and things like that. So we will have some time built in just to work on our project. All right, so what are we going to do today? I'm going to share with you on Canvas the list of sheets that you'll need, and we'll review those on Wednesday. And then in Revit, what we're going to actually do today is talk about tags. We're going to create doors, window, and room tags. We'll learn how to use a room separator and room tags. We're going to create a room schedule using a number, name, and area. And we're going to create our sheet list with our numbers and our names incorporated into that. So not a lot to go over today, but a lot of stuff that's important and needs to be inputted into your project. So that being said, let me jump into Revit. Let me open Revit while I've got this going on. Open that up. If you have turned in your projects over the weekend, I'll have a chance to review them in the next couple of days, so you'll have that updated for Wednesday. I'll be going over this in the next class as well. All right, let's just pick one and open one up. Take a look at this one. All right, so first thing we're going to go over today are tags. So we want to go to the level that we're actually creating our tags on, which on here will be level 1. You don't want to do this in level 1 interiors. You want to have this in your regular level 1. So in order to create tags, we're going to go to our architecture tab. We're going to go to our room and area panel, and we're going to use a couple of tools here. Say for instance, this room right here, see how it's a large room? Perhaps parts of this room are used as a classroom and parts of it are used as a lab. Well, if I go to tag this room, I should just be using this room tool. Notice when that comes in, excuse me, it's just going to tag the entire space. So if I bring a tag in here, I'll drop it here. I'll drop one here. And then if I don't want to tag this entire space, I want to have half of it marked as classroom, half of it as lab. Well, I'll have to insert back in the room and area tab a room separator. And this is just a line that's going to discern the two spaces when I tag them. Now you'll notice on this side, I can create one space, and on this side, I can create my other space. And it's nice to kind of keep these visually in one row. Notice how the numbers are also populating as we go through. So here we have all of our room tags laid out. Well, we want to be able to edit these in certain ways. I'm just going to grab this one, for instance, and I'm going to go into edit type. Notice how it does have show area available or show room. If I didn't want to show room or area, I can just turn those off. And it's just going to list, you know, the room name. And then I can change this to whatever I want it to be. If it's classroom. Class. And lab. So I can rename those how I want them. Let's jump back into edit type. And we don't necessarily need the room number, but I do want to see the names on these, and I do want to see this, the show area on here as well. If you want to include a room number on there, you can. I'm not giving you any process for numbering your rooms. If you want to just number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's fine. You can leave that on there. But we're basically just looking to see the names and the square footage. And as you name them different things, you'll know that that's going to show up later. But as we name them different things, there's a process that we're going to learn how to create a visual identity of each room with different colors, and that's going to show up with the different names. So you want to make sure that you have all the different names there. What I do for this is just go ahead and do that on level 1. You don't need to do that on all the levels, because as long as I know you know how to do it, that's fine. And we'll just do this on level 1. What you're also going to be able to want to tag are the doors and windows on here. To tag doors and windows, you're going to want to go to the View tab. I always forget where these tags are. No. Annotate tab. I always get that one mixed up. Excuse me. So there's a couple of ways that we can do that. We can go to the tag panel, and then there's tag by category or tag all. I always prefer tag by category. Let's see the difference between those. So if we do tag by category, it's automatically going to tag what you want it to. Obviously, this is a partition tag. We're not going to need those. We are going to need the ones for the windows. And these are all the same type of windows, so they have all the same tag. If you had a different window type in here, you would have a different tag on here. And then our door tags as well. Just finish that. Here we can adjust the way these tags look. If I click on that, make it active. Notice on here, it does have a leader line, this line right here. If I click off of that, it's going to make that leader line go to disappear. And then I can just move the location of this tag where I want it to. I think that looks a lot better, especially when you get your dimensions in here and you have a lot going on. This extra leader line just kind of makes things a lot busier and unnecessary, especially if it's obviously evident where this tag is going to go. And if we just put it there, it makes it a lot better. And you can move it and shrink it without changing that as well. But I just prefer to get rid of it altogether, because if I do end up moving this out of the way, then I'm still going to have that leader line attached. Oops. So the more information you have in here, the more that if you want to tag it, if we use tag by all, you will include all these that you want to include. We're not going to do all these because, if you remember from that set of drawings that we looked at the beginning of the project, it can get very busy. The main ones that we want to pay attention to are the ones that we've already done, the wall, window, and room tags. But if you want to play with this, it's always kind of fun to get in here and kind of play with them as well. Always, it's always good to see how different tools work. But we want something that kind of looks like this. So we have all your window, doors, and rooms. As you start laying out your dimensions and things, these can move as well. Notice for the windows, we can turn off the leader line on those as well. And once again, this is just a matter of once you get everything laid out, you want to make sure that it's easily readable for the people who are going to be reading these documents, so they can figure out what goes where without too much superfluous, too many superfluous lines laying around that just kind of confuse and muddy the drawing. So it's thinking about how clean and easy they're going to be to read. So tags are pretty easy. Probably the thing I see that people have the most difficulty with is making sure that they are just kind of placed properly and are easy to read. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of extra time to make sure that you get those placed properly once you get everything in here. Any questions about room, any tagging before we move on? Okay, cool. All right, room schedules, numbers, names, area, and sheet list, numbers, names. Oh, you know what? We are going to use the numbers on here. We'll need room because I do have those here, which is easily solvable. So let's go back to here. Let's go back to edit type, and let's go back to show room number. Voila, nicely fixed. What's also nice about this is when you get into some of the other classes, some of the other rubber classes like MEP, sometimes you need to know the volume of the room. So if you go here, you can also find room volume, show volume, and this way you don't have to worry about doing that calculation, which is nice as well. We have to adjust this a little bit, but you are able to do that, and it is a little shortcut for other classes. All right, so let's get into schedules. So for schedules, we want to go to our view tab. So we're going to go to our create panel, and we're going to go to our schedule tool. So we're going to do our drop down here, go to schedules and quantities. And what the list on here? Room schedule, minimum area. We're going to go down to our rooms and hit OK. The name, number, and area. Hit OK. And that's it for our room schedule. Very easy to create, similar to the schedules that we've done before. So here we have our room numbers, our square footage, and also the room by name. Pretty straightforward on that. Let's do the same thing for our sheets. Now, yes, we haven't created any sheets yet, but as we start creating the sheets, they'll start populating in here. If I added, if I changed up this floor plan and added a different room here or changed anything about it, it would automatically populate in this room schedule. It would change there as well. So let's jump back to Revit. Oops, here's already here. Go back to level 1. So view tab, create panel, schedule tool. And here we're going to create our sheet list. So we're going to go down to sheet list. And on sheet list, we always want to do sheet number and sheet name. And then we'll just hit OK. And then as we start creating and populating our sheets, they'll just start populating in this this panel right here. All right, so that's pretty much it for today. The main, and this is just a stepping stone for what we're going to be using in the next few classes. So make sure that you do get your doors, everything tagged before Wednesday. And we're going to be moving on to something else that's going to build on why we needed these tags in place. Any questions for today, y'all, about today's lecture or previous lectures? Okay, if there's no questions for today, we'll go ahead and end class today and give you lots of time to continue working on that this morning. And if you have any questions in the meantime, just shoot me a text, and I'll also be reviewing your work progress. So be on the lookout for that as well. So have a great day, and I will see y'all on Wednesday.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.